Hello class, it's good to be with you again today. I just wanted to do a short video announcement update on your class projects up to this point. I was pleased to see all of the team weekly update meeting assignments that were submitted, and for the most part they all looked really good. Just make sure that you are communicating regularly with your team, that you're holding your weekly team meetings, so that you can stay up to date with each other and make assignments and be mutually accountable to each other. All of those things are what drive good team-based projects. And all of you, I'm sure, have been in classes where the projects haven't gone so well. You're all busy people. You're all trying to juggle a lot of priorities. You're all trying to do the best you can to be successful in this class, as well as a bunch of other classes, and a lot of you are working, and you have other things that are pulling you in different directions. So it's important that we respect each other's time, that we make, when we say we're going to meet, that we meet, and be prompt and on time, and make the meeting worth its while so that we're not wasting anyone's time. And as long as you're conscious of that and thoughtful and considerate and proactive in communication, I think you're going to be great. Now remember, this is an organizational development and change class, and a huge part of this class is about building trust. It's about effective teams. It's about working effectively as an organization. And so you will be doing and demonstrating your ability in those areas in a number of ways. Of course, some of it's just through the individual work you do in this class, with the assignments and the cases and the reflections and those different pieces. You also have your big consulting project, and so you're trying to help an organization understand their processes and develop something that will be useful to them. That's what I would consider a live case type of a project. But remember, you also have another live case, and that is your team itself. So your ability to work effectively as a team collectively on this project is a manifestation of your understanding of the course concepts. And there's some fundamental things that need to be in place in order for teams to be successful. As if you scroll down to later modules in the course, you can even see some additional resources on team effectiveness, team building, some of those sorts of things. And so that's something that might be worthwhile in addressing in some of your early team meetings. But it's also not rocket science. I think mutual accountability and trust are important. Treating people fairly, and making sure that you're doing your part within your team. If you do that, this will be an excellent project. Of course, problems will arise. Problems always arise in any sort of team environment. And so when they arise, I hope that you'll be open in your communication with each other. And most of the time you can work out those challenges just within your own team. If it becomes something a little bit more serious, then you can loop me in, of course. Come and talk with me, and we can make sure that you're in good shape, and that you can move forward in a positive way. So just be proactive. That's the main thing, and you're going to be in good shape. The other thing I wanted to talk about for this week, of course, is that you have now formed your teams. You are now doing your initial meeting with your client organization. The purpose of this meeting is to get a clear picture of what you're going to be doing on your project. You've each watched the short video introductions on your projects that Katie has provided, which is a helpful starting point, and hopefully you're taking a little bit of personal time to investigate and understand the organization. Those are all important things that you probably want to do before you have your initial meeting with Katie. But remember that the whole point of this is to try to understand your client need, be able to ask thoughtful questions, probe deeply, so that you get a chance to explore things that maybe she hasn't even explored, be thoughtful about the process. If you can do those things, then she's going to be happy with the type of project you do. A big part of these projects is not just the outcome, not just the deliverable, which needs to be awesome. It needs to be A quality work to represent yourself and your team and me and the university well, But the other really important part of these types of projects is the client relationship and managing that. And that happens through open communication, dialogue, asking good questions, listening carefully to what they have to say, all those sorts of things. So please go, as you're scheduling your meeting with Katie this week, please go into it prepared. Please think of some thoughtful questions that you can ask. The whole point is to just better and more clearly understand what she's hoping for and looking for and what the problems are that she's facing. Again, going beyond the surface level that you started to get a sense of it in her introductory videos, but that's kind of surface level, and so you need to dig deeper and ask more thoughtful questions. If you can do that, then you're going to be ready and go off to the races and being able to discuss and to be able to prepare your project proposal. So that's what I want to take a few minutes right now and show you, so that you can keep this in mind as you're having your initial meeting with Katie and as you're having your team meetings each week, especially over the next few weeks as you're preparing your proposal. There's a bunch of places where you can find the proposal. You can find it in the assignments area. You can find it in the actual module as you come down. But also you can just find it here in the resources and materials. This is where I tried to put a lot of things that will be useful on an ongoing basis for you throughout the class if you can't figure out where else to find it. So if you come here and you click on the project charter, that's your proposal template. I'm just going to pull, I already opened it, so I'm just going to pull it up here. And here you can see the template. Okay, this is what you're going to be doing for the first big piece of your client project assignment. This will force you to get more detail and understand more fully what they're looking for and all the different pieces of the project. And it will force you to just be very systematic in how you go about preparing for what you're going to be doing the rest of the semester. This will then be the guidepost for you throughout the semester so that you can have a shared language with your client. Once you finish this and submit it to me, I'll give you some feedback. You will probably have to do some edits. You'll send it to your client. They'll provide feedback. It might have to go back and forth a few times, but ultimately everyone will agree on the proposal, and then you can move forward having at least a pretty decent a surety of what the project's going to entail throughout the rest of the semester. This is really important in the OD process in entering and contracting with an organization, and this will be an important part of the course. We'll have a module on this coming up soon, but you get to experience it right now. So please open up this document if you haven't already. Talk through it with your team. This is an important thing to go through in preparation so that you can ask the types of questions that can answer some of the things that you'll need to be able to put in here. A brief summary of the project, building a business case for the project. Why is it important for them? What's it going to do for their business? What's it going to do for the organization to help them improve? That's what you're describing there. What are the scope and deliverables? What are the actual outcomes that you're hoping to achieve through the project? What are the key priorities? Any potential funding? Now, we don't have any funding for you on the UVU side, and since Katie's working with a nonprofit, they likely won't have any funding or much to speak of, and so this may be blank at the end of the day, or you may just say not applicable. But be thoughtful about what you see yourself doing and think about the possible expenses related to your project, and that's something you can ask her about. The types of things you hope to save through the project, project risks, the sponsor. The project sponsor is Catholic Community Services and Katie. Down here you can put in the authorization. This is where we're all going to sign. I'm the project champion, project sponsor is Katie, and then you can have your project manager be just your communication liaison with Katie. That doesn't mean they're actually managing the whole project, but it's the person who's the key go-between your group and Katie for all the communications. Section 2, then you go down, you add some additional details for these different areas. hopefully it's fairly self-explanatory. And then here, section 3, this is actually the really critical part of the proposal, your action plan, milestones and dates. So what not just, end of the semester we're going to submit a report and do a final presentation, but what are some intermediate dates along the way, so that your team has milestones to seek to accomplish, core project team and team member responsibilities. So you have each of your team members and what's their core area and piece of the project that they're going to be responsible for. What things do you need the client to be responsible for, such as allowing you access to documents and employees and various key information that might be important, any other types of resources you might need, so on and so forth. You come on down, and then there might be some supplemental things that you want to include. Overall, this front part of your proposal, as you fill in this template, when you're done, it'll probably be about 6 pages, is my guess. Make sure that it looks professional, of course, in terms of consistency in formatting, consistency in tone. So you are certainly welcome to divide this up amongst your team and have different people work on different pieces of it. But if you do that, make sure that you come back together and have a chance to talk through it, make sure it's consistent in how it's written, and that you are, and that the formatting is professional and consistent. The second half of this document then actually provides more instructions, so it provides more detail on what would go into each of these different sections in the proposal. So if you're working on it and you're like, oh, I don't even know what this means, scroll to the second half of the document, and that gives you some more information, and hopefully that'll be helpful. Of course, you can always ask me questions as well, so if and when a question comes up, don't hesitate to contact me and we can discuss it. And I can usually, with it, if you email me, I'll email you back super quickly and we can get it resolved pretty fast. If it's a question that would apply to everyone, I could even put up an announcement or do a quick video and post it so that everyone is on the same page. So please look at that. Please be prepared for your first client meeting with Katie this week, so that it can go off well and so that you can represent yourself well and your team. Remember that if possible, it would be really great if teams could team up in meeting with Katie. So, for example, the two team building teams, because she would be talking to you about the same types of information. So if you can have representatives from both team building teams schedule and talk to her at the same time, both diversity training teams, both diversity recruitment teams. If you can do that, that would be best for her, because that means she wouldn't have to be duplicating and repeating meetings and talking about the same type of information with multiple team members. So please do that. Remember, this does not replace the need to have your own team meeting. So you will have your client meeting. That's part of your hours for your project, of course, but you'll also have your team meeting. And while I'm on that topic, it's also worth reminding you that you have your team learning project student time log, your service learning project student time log. Everything that you do related to this project, team meetings, client meetings, individual research, client meeting prep, any research related to the project, any work on deliverables related to the project or the presentation, any of that kind of stuff. Keep track of your hours, put it in your time log, and you'll be submitting that individually at the end of the semester, but that will also be included in your final team report at the end of the semester, so that we can demonstrate to Katie the total amount of time and effort and the types of things that the team did throughout the semester. So that's quite a bit. Hopefully that all makes sense. Please let me know if and when you have any questions. And as always, I hope you're enjoying the course, and I look forward to hearing from you if and when you have concerns or questions. And best of luck with your client meetings this week. Thank you.